What's up, guys? Welcome back to the MontyVerse. It's me and Nicki back as usual, but today we're doing something a little different. We're bringing back an old show concept that we used to do called Views from the MontyVerse, where us and some special guests talk about some news. And today's guests are Zach Palpatine and John Toretto. What's up, guys? I mean, you guys will recognize these two from a lot of other MontyVerse videos, but Zack and Jon, what's up, guys?
Hey, just to be clear, I'm a Skywalker by blood, Palpatine by choice, okay?
I respect it. I respect your choices in life. Jon, are you a Toretto by Corona?
100%, 1000%, and we are 41 days.
From
Get your tickets now.
To Fast X. 40 days.
Yeah, what else
Fast
would it be?
I don't know, man. There's so much stuff coming out. Maybe it's like something else.
It's the only thing that matters right now. Come on, dude.
All right, guys.
Come on, Brock.
Today was a bit of a slow news day, but we got a lot of Star Wars news today. I honestly didn't expect obviously Star Wars Celebration is going on right now, and they had the big Lucasfilm panel this morning in London, because obviously it's overseas, it's in London. It was early this morning for us in the United States, and I just didn't expect them to kind of reveal everything today. So we got a lot of Star Wars stuff to talk about. So let's start with Star Wars, and let's start with the thing we got. That's the big reveal, which is the Ahsoka trailer. I gave my thoughts on the Ahsoka trailer already. Zach and Jon, what did you guys think? And Nikki's going to step away for a second while we talk Star Wars, because she's not seen Rebels, and we might go back and watch that for the channel. So she's going to step away for a minute.
You should definitely watch Rebels for the channel. All right. Here's what I'm going to say.
Wait, Nikki's
Rebels.
Okay, now you're good.
Okay, see you, Nikki.
Gone.
Rebels rules. And seeing a live action continuation of Rebels also rules. That said, I think the show itself looks good. The actual cinematic quality of it doesn't wow me. It's very much in the mold of Mandalorian, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Book of Boba Fett, less so in the mold of Andor. So from that standpoint, I'm like, I'd rather just see a continuation of the cartoon at this point. But whatever, continuation of the story, beautiful, love it. So I'm happy.
I would actually push back on that. I would say it looks a lot less like Mando, and it looks to me visually unique. It looks more like Rebels, the series in live action, I think, to me. Anyway. Jon, what do you think?
Yeah, I think it's very, very cool. Rebels is awesome. If you haven't seen Rebels, you should, because it's very, very good. I thought the trailer looked cool. Looks neat. I mean, if you want to complain about the visuals and nitpick that stuff, I know it's a very Zach thing to do, which is fine.
It's not a nitpick. It's a visual medium. Okay.
But until we actually, Ahsoka is a really cool character, so I'm cool that we have to see more and seeing other characters from Rebels, like Hera Syndulla, who I believe is going to be Mary Elizabeth Winstead, which is really, really cool as well. And also, Sabine is my favorite character for Rebels, so because she's, I like her how much art she is and how it's very much her personality. So I'm really cool to see that. So I'm excited. I did, because we've seen what Ahsoka was in season 2 of Mandalorian.
Yep.
Yes.
Which I thought was really cool. So yeah, I'm excited to see more of her story and whatever else they're going to do with it.
Yeah, the trailer was really interesting because there was a lot going on. And I think the biggest thing to me in the trailer was the fact that they dropped the line heir to the Empire. And this is very obviously going to revolve around Grand Admiral Thrawn and Ezra to tie into the cliffhanger from Star Wars Rebels, that big unanswered question. And this trailer really makes me feel like Filoni is going to attempt to make an adaptation of the Thrawn trilogy, at least Heir to the Empire. which I find really, really interesting. Did you either of you guys kind of get that from the trailer?
Yeah, I find it slightly problematic though because of like the Aftermath trilogy that is already, a canon story of what happened after the downfall of the Empire and the or like the early fall of the Empire, and then also like Bloodline, which takes place almost like right in this exact timeline that I think we're in, which is like 5 or 6 years after the New Republic has been formed. So the issue is always like timeline always gets screwy with Star Wars, and I think that generally speaking, they do a pretty poor job of managing kind of how all of it fits together, unfortunately. That said, I think you kind of have to like think about it as less of a cohesive canon and more of like a loose canon, like maybe like you would see in loose canon, like you would see in comic books or something like that, where it's like it's all canon, but making all the puzzle pieces fit. Like, don't try too hard. Okay, just enjoy the stories for what they are and sort of map them into the larger story however you want to.
Because there's already been stuff that's already been released that's now canon, that they've new stuff has already kind of messed with that and kind of overwritten some of it. So it's, I mean, yeah, they can do whatever they want, and as long as it makes sense and doesn't like break stuff too bad, I think it'll be okay.
But aren't we already seeing that kind of? Because technically in the Disney Star Wars, everything is canon, right? But we know in Andor that we are going to see eventually Cassian meet K2SO for the first time. But we've already seen that introduction to the characters in the Star Wars comics. So it's almost as if they're creating a hierarchy of canon. Like,
so there is absolutely a hierarchy of canon. So and this isn't the first time something that was canon, Disney canon, has already been retconned. So we saw that with Ahsoka in what was the cartoon? What was the new cartoon that they released? The Heroes or something like that.
Yes,
right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So in that we see a story about Ahsoka that is in direct contradiction with the Ahsoka novel, regarding like where she gets her lightsabers from and what she's doing after this. I don't know. There's a handful of things. I don't remember it exactly. It's been a long time since I read the Ahsoka novel, but we've already seen that happen where they just point blank just do something that is not what was in the novel. So you kind of have, I think if I had to guess what the hierarchy is, it's probably something like video games are at the bottom with comic books. Probably those two are basically at the same level. Then you have books, then you have TV shows, then you have movies. And movies are the absolute gospel of what has actually transpired. TV shows are like a first-hand accounting of what happened. Books are like heard from a guy who heard from a guy that this is what happened. And comic books and video games are another step removed from that. So I think you can probably think about it like that.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Before we keep going, I just want to shout out some of the people that are in the chat right now. What's up, Jay? Johnny, Testing Limits. Go check out his Instagram. What's up, guys? Oh, we've got Pardis here. What's up, Pardis? That is true. Zach does suck at dodgeball. He's nowhere near your skill level. He has issued an open challenge to Pardis in dodgeball, but Pardis is the world's greatest dodger. He can dodge everything Zach throws at him. So, in summation, Zach sucks. But moving on, we have John Lestrina in the chat.
Look,
Whoa,
and as
what's
an
up,
experienced dodgeball player, okay, all right, I have a long history of playing dodgeball with my team, the Lubricators. Okay, all right, we are a playoff caliber team. So, I mean, I'm a great analyst, and I have great dodgeball eyes, and I do not see dodgeball in Zach.
I don't know who John Lestrina is. I only know John Toretto. Okay,
John Toretto.
So I don't know why you're speaking for this John Lestrina character, but whatever.
All right, guys. And if you have any questions that you want to ask, we'll be taking some questions at the end of the stream. But if you guys have anything to say or you have any questions, make sure to drop a super chat or Streamlabs, and we will get to them as quickly as possible. But let's continue.
Hey, so
talking.
hold on, real quick. So like,
Yeah.
we've brought up Thrawn, we've talked about it, but we haven't actually mentioned like this is kind of a big deal for Thrawn because, as you mentioned, at the end of Rebels, we don't know what has happened to Thrawn or what will happen to Thrawn. So for them to just put it in a trailer, be like, "Oh yeah, no, Thrawn's back. Yeah, we found Thrawn, or Thrawn made his way back, or whatever."
Or there's rumblings of Thrawn's return.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they literally showed the back of Thrawn. It's like, I mean,
allegedly,
I guess we don't see. Blue. I don't know if you can tell there's blue skin there or not, but it's
that could be a flashback. To be honest, that could be a little flashback.
Look, we heard the same thing when the Kenobi trailers were dropping, and everyone was like, Hayden Christensen's in it, and they were like, well, those are obviously going to be flashbacks. And it's like, nope, they just, again, retcon everything. Like, no, they fought each other again.
I mean, so to be fair, there was some flashbacks, okay?
I mean, yeah, there were some, but Hayden Christensen was there in the flesh.
Yeah, he was.
In real time when it took place.
A long time ago.
So I'm just saying, to just like drop that in a trailer, to be like, oh yeah, by the way, that massive cliffhanger that we left you on in Rebels, we're just going to resolve that in this trailer real quick. That's kind of freaking crazy.
But see, what's interesting to me is how he comes back, because I think that's what this series is going to be. Like, I think Thrawn will be the main antagonist of the Filoni film. Like, I think that's what they're building to. I don't think we're going to get as much Thrawn in this as we think we're going to get. Like, I think we'll find Ezra first, and then that will lead to us finding Thrawn, because there's just it just seems that there's so much going on in terms of the Star Wars mythology in this trailer. We have Ray Stevenson, and I don't know the other young lady who's playing the other Jedi, Sith, whatever they are, with the orange lightsabers. We have those going on. We have all of these markings that appear to be from the world between worlds, which is one of the most fascinating concepts in all of Star Wars that we explored for all of 2 episodes, and we left that hanging. So I would love to kind of see what exactly is happening with all that.
But here's the thing, right? That's a concept that they explored for 2 episodes because they didn't actually want to explore it. It doesn't really fit in with the Star Wars mythos. So the only reason they do that is because they're saying, we need to figure out a way to bring Ahsoka back. Let's just make something up real quick and make it happen, okay?
But I think that's cool. I think that's cool.
I think it's... I'm just saying I don't think they want to explore that.
I think
it opens up
wants to.
I think it opens up a whole can of worms.
But I mean, this is what they do. They introduce these things to the mythology, like that episode of Clone Wars with the father, the son, and the daughter. I thought that was very interesting. Like the stuff with the Bendu in season 3 of Rebels.
Yeah,
like fascinating concepts.
Bendu's kind of wild, but
yeah. Also,
this whole man, I'm nervous about this show because as much at the beginning I said I love Rebels and I love to see a continuation of Rebels, but I'm just thinking about the overarching the saga films. Right now we're getting an Heir to the Empire type story that took place some years after the fall of the Empire, but then some years before the rise of the First Order. So how you can't make Thrawn that big of a big bad then if you want to, because otherwise it makes everything it makes the surprise of the rise of the First Order not make sense. Yeah, of course we got these people are popping up all the time, so why are we so unprepared for the First Order then? And we already know there was a total disarmament of the New Republic, so I don't know. It's all weird. I guess I'll wait and see how it plays out. But
yeah, dude,
they did in the old EU, whereas all these warlords popping up, everyone's struggling, positioning for power, and then what we have seen in Mandalorian is we're with the New Republic. Hey, we're trying to figure things out, but we're kind of just bouncing around bureaucracies, so stuff's just kind of going around, and some systems aren't part of the New Republic, and so it's still all a mess.
Yeah, I mean, and a lot of this is going to take place in places where the New Republic has no jurisdiction. It's in the why am I blanking on this?
The unknown regions.
The unknown regions. There we go. It's in the like
Well,
that's
it's not that they don't have
Ezra-
jurisdiction; it's that they just
It's
unknown.
unknown.
Yeah, it's hard
Yeah.
to traverse. It's hard to keep an eye on. So
And I think maybe this will explain Ahsoka's absence in the sequel trilogy. Like, oh, she was off dealing with this shiznit over there in the unknown regions. Her and her strike team that includes Mando, Flippy Grogu McGee, and Bo-Katan, and the
hey,
other
also,
people.
hey, Sabine Wren is going to be in the season finale of The Mandalorian, right?
Are you calling it?
I
Is
mean,
that-
it's going to happen, right?
100%. There's got
Yeah.
there's got to be a big like.
Yeah, they
Reveal.
have a trailer for Ahsoka, and you just see Sabine staring at her Mandalorian helmet, and you're like, oh, okay, yeah, obviously, you know,
She
Bo-Katan is
is
out finding
a-
Mandalorians. Yeah, she's going to find
Yeah.
Sabine, obviously.
She is the Mandalorian.
Yeah, I mean, she invented like the most destructive weapon of all time. So
Yeah, and she
that's somebody
was
you want on your side.
responsible
Yeah,
for having their planet destroyed.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
let's get her. Let's see what she's up to.
Yeah.
Guys, any final thoughts on Ahsoka? I'm excited for it. The trailer has so much going on that I can't help but get invested and want to know more about the story. But
Yeah.
I don't know.
The final scene of the trailer, Ahsoka does a really cool pose before fighting. That kind of got me hyped up. So if we get a lot of that, I'm down.
It's just what episode is just all poses.
Yeah.
Shh.
Yeah.
Dual lightsabers. Let's go.
Let's
Two
go.
lightsabers are cool. You want to know what's cooler than 2 lightsabers? 4 lightsabers.
Mm-hmm.
General Kenobi. Bring back Grievous, baby.
Yeah, that's what we need the world between worlds for.
Yes.
Bring back Grievous.
Just pluck out Grievous. Dude, yes. Favreau's going to call us after the stream. The guys, just heard your stream. Get to London ASAP. Okay?
We need
Speaking
to get
of
you boys in the volume.
Speaking of London, I heard the entirety of Celebration is taking place in the volume.
Yep. It's incredible.
FYI.
It's incredible what they can do in the volume.
That's why Tony Gilroy is not there.
Yeah.
Because as we know, he refuses.
He would never.
The volume. I would never work in the volume. Yeah, but that's going to end our talk of Ahsoka. We're excited about it. I think we're all excited about it. But like beyond the Disney Plus stuff, because we got a trailer, a Star Wars Celebration exclusive trailer for Andor Season 2, so we don't have anything to talk about there. And the Skeleton Crew, which also was Star Wars Celebration exclusive. Star Wars movies are back, baby.
We're back.
We're back. I'm thinking they're back. Because they announced, out of nowhere, 3 completely new Star Wars films that no one had any idea were in development, but they seem pretty far into development. One of which is, I think the first of the 3, is going to be a Dave Filoni written and directed Star Wars film that is the culmination of the Mando-Verse. So I'm assuming it's going to feature all of the characters from Book of Boba Tea, The Mandalorian, and Ahsoka. And that's pretty exciting. I mean, for as much as I know Zach hates Filoni and Favreau.
I do not hate Filoni, to be clear. I love Filoni. I think the Filoni and Favreau verse is pretty appalling and bad, though.
I disagree. I full-heartedly disagree. But what do you guys think? Are you excited for a Dave Filoni Star Wars film? It feels like it's a long time coming. It feels right.
It's just like a Dave Filoni directed Star Wars film. Yeah, I can get behind that. You know, big fan of Filoni. He learned from the best, Rian Johnson. Okay, so bring it on. But Dave Filoni written, worries me. I think as great as he is, he has some bad tendencies when it comes to his writing. We see this in, The Mandalorian. We've seen it in the Kenobi show. We've seen it in whatever other shows, Book of Boba Fett. The things he show runs for or he's involved with, they just do too much while doing too little,
But the counterpoint to that is we have the Clone Wars and Rebels and all of these things he's done.
I know, but in animation, those things work.
but he also had a lot more control over those, whereas The Mandalorian was a collaborative effort with Favreau.
So you're saying maybe it's just Favreau screwing things
no,
up?
I'm just saying that sometimes maybe
because I can get on board with that. Okay.
I'm just saying that sometimes two very creative and strong-willed individuals choose to work together cohesively instead of combatively, and they fuse ideas together. And maybe that doesn't always work all the time. Whereas I think Filoni has proven that by himself, he can write really interesting and engaging stories that enhance the Star Wars universe and the mythology of Star Wars.
Hey, look, I'm gonna go see it opening night, okay? But I will have some reservations.
That's fair. That's fair. John, do you also think Zach's wrong?
That's a great rule of thumb, is to just always assume Zach is wrong, and then you'll just get through life so much easier and better and enjoy things more.
You're gonna have a bad life if you assume that I'm wrong.
Anyway, as we know, Zach is wrong. But I like Dave Filoni. I love just listening to him talk about Star Wars because it just puts a smile on your face because his passion is so it's just incredible. So I'm excited that he's getting a chance to do something on the big screen. I think he deserves it. So I'm excited. I'm going to see it no matter what. So yeah, tying everything together is very exciting because we know some of these things are short-term projects and limited series, whatever. So to tie them all up together in a movie, which is what Star Wars took a little break for a little bit. So it's time now really to get back to the big screen, hopefully a big way. So I'm excited.
So the way you frame that in terms of excited for Dave Filoni, absolutely. The guy has put in the work, right? He's passionate. Nobody deserves to have this mantle bestowed upon them like he does. But that doesn't by any means guarantee any level of quality because of that. That's my concern. It's not that I don't think he has a qualified Star Wars mind for this. He very clearly does. I just don't know about his actual writing or directing chops is all.
Yeah, that's fair. There is no guarantee. In life, very, very few things are guaranteed. You could have the world's greatest director direct a Star Wars film.
Look,
and
written and directed by Rian Johnson, gonna be a banger.
It's gonna divide the entire fan base down the middle is more like it. But it's just anything is possible. But I think that also from a business perspective, this is a smart opening move back into cinemas for Star Wars because you're taking these properties that have a lot of popularity, Mandalorian, Ahsoka, fan favorite characters that people love. Everyone buys Baby Yoda merch. Baby Yoda, even though he's 75 years old, we're still calling him a baby. People love it
differently. Okay, all right. We don't even know if he speaks it. We don't even know if he wears diapers or not. Come on.
Look, we know that he can speak, just not verbally, right?
Yeah,
because he communicates with Ahsoka, so he understands language and can use language in his mind. 100%. Which must be very frustrating, by the way. Can you imagine?
I would have punted him by now. I would have punted him. If I was Din, I would have never went back.
He probably would, and then he would have force choked you, and you'd be dead.
No, because I would also been a Jedi, and we would be force choking each other.
Sounds hot. Anyways.
So anyway, I think it's a smart decision because you're taking these proven franchises that have built-in fan bases, and you're taking the culmination of these stories and you're putting it on the big screen. So not only are you ushering in Star Wars back to cinemas, but you're also ushering in the ending of this chapter of Disney Plus era Star Wars.
Are we allowed to bring Nikki back now that we're done talking about Rebels? Or...
Yeah, Nikki, can you come back?
Okay.
Zach wants to field you in some questions.
I don't. I just realized I looked at your name and it said Monty and Nicki, and I was like, oh wait, didn't we kick her out?
People want you back.
No Rebels.
People want. She also doesn't know The Mandalorian or Star Wars.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
You don't have to if you don't want to.
What am I getting involved
No, it's just we're talking Star
Wars, yeah.
And we just we felt that you were left out. Well, Nikki
mean-
has seen.
Yeah, I was gonna say if we're gonna talk about the Daisy Ridley stuff and whatnot,
Yeah.
it's
Oh.
good.
All right, let's talk about the Daisy Ridley stuff. Did we finish talking about? Yeah, we did. We talked about that
we're
Filoni stuff.
good. Yeah,
So, Rey Skywalker is back. Probably the biggest surprise at Celebration this morning was them ushering Daisy Ridley out on that stage and saying, "Guess what, losers? Changed your name. What an idiot. Daisy Ridley is back as Rey." They didn't call her Rey Skywalker. I noticed that. They just said Rey. They're like, Rey is back in a movie.
I feel like they did somewhere.
Oh, they did say Rey Skywalker? I don't know.
I was gonna say,
I wasn't there, so I don't know. I'm
maybe
just
they
assuming.
knew. Maybe they just knew like they could say it seriously.
They're like, "What's up, you idiots? Rey is back, and this movie is going to take place 15 years after the end of Rise of Skywalker, and Rey will be rebuilding the Jedi exactly where we left Luke at the end of Return of the Jedi."
That is not where we left Luke.
Okay.
So let's not make anything up here, okay? Let's go based
Listen,
on
I
what we
love
actually
Rey.
saw.
I love Rey, okay? Rey is great. I think she's wonderful. Rise of Skywalker completely ruined the character of Rey.
I disagree, but I do want to also say, though, like you said, the biggest surprise was that Daisy Ridley was back. I don't think that was anywhere close to the biggest surprise because there had been rumors floating around or speculation about Daisy Ridley coming back for a movie like this for, I don't know, the last year or two. This has been popping up here and there. You'll hear people mention it. So I don't think it was surprising in the sense that it's actually happening. I think maybe the surprise was that it just kind of like
Came out
popped
of
into
nowhere.
our laps. Yeah, right. So
For me, it was surprising because especially the way that Daisy Ridley and John Boyega, like I would say Oscar Isaac talks about Star Wars a little bit more warmly than those two, but those two seem to really, like, especially Boyega. Boyega kind
I've
of.
never heard
yeah.
Daisy Ridley speak poorly about Star Wars.
I mean, she doesn't speak poorly of it, but it's not like she was always like, "Yeah, I'll probably, maybe I'll come back eventually," but I didn't think she'd come back this soon. She's like, "Maybe I'll come back in 10 years. I don't know. Let's see."
I mean,
what's up.
Oscar's also the one still working for Disney, so
He's got that
I'm
Moon
not-
Knight money.
I was making the point that, like, yeah, John Boyega, I would be surprised if he came back for anything.
But even though it would make the most sense.
Oh yeah, we talked about this today. Like, given how Rise of Skywalker ended with the thing he needed to tell Rey that, like,
That he
no-
never did.
Yeah, but like because it was about force sensitivity, it's like, yeah, he would actually make the most sense to come back, but we know that's the least likely to happen.
Which is a shame because I really think that I would love to see a movie where Finn is
Yeah,
15 years later.
Because Finn is fantastic, and like, yeah, issues with the Rise of Skywalker aside, I'm perfectly happy with how we left him.
Yeah.
So
Well,
look,
what do you guys think?
You can say John Boyega's unlikely to come back, but at the end of the day, like, one, money talks, and
Yeah.
two, like, new personnel and new people, like, new people can make pitches to John Boyega, and he can go, "Oh, okay, actually, that's great." Like J.J. Abrams kind of didn't have a clue, but what you're pitching sounds great, and if the money's right, yeah, let's do it. Because I don't
It's
think
not-
I mean, John Boyega has said, like, you know, he's a Star Wars fan. I don't think he's just going to be like, I'm out on Star Wars completely. I think he's just saying, like, I didn't have a great experience, and I just want to do other projects for now. But I mean, if the right project comes along, I doubt he's going to say no just because he had a bad experience before.
I mean, it's not impossible. I don't think anyone's saying that. I think just like, especially out of the sequel trilogy cast, he's the one that, the fact that he had anything negative, I think that lends itself to him being less likely. It's not impossible though, and I think that would be fantastic if he did, and hopefully whoever's working on this comes up with something good enough that maybe he actually likes. I would be down for it.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah, I would
through
love
the
for him to come
Force.
back. So
Look, what Star Wars needs is I guess a buddy cop, not buddy cop comedy, but like maybe a rom-com of sorts with Finn and Poe. All right, because
Yes.
their dynamic together,
Yes.
I mean, just going back to Force Awakens when they first meet and like they're just going to like which way do you want to go? Kind of this way, that way, or we're gonna do it. We're gonna break out and put like pose all the sides. And Finn's like, what? Huh?
Take my jacket.
They're like, come on.
That
dude.
is that is the thing with that Force Awakens did do better than The Last Jedi, is that built up that relationship so well.
Hey,
and then it
you're
went
wearing
nowhere.
Hey, you're wearing my jacket. You want it back? No, keep it. It looks better on you. Man, did I get steamy in the theater with that scene.
I know.
Classic Storm pilot. You gotta love it.
Dude, like their chemistry together too is just like
They were so fucking good. Like, I remember seeing Force Awakens in the theater, and I was just immediately smitten with both of them.
Can we just bring them all back? Like, at this point, just bring them all the
Bring
fuck back.
Ben Solo back.
I was going to touch on this.
So we talked about that today, too, is like, on the off chance that Adam Driver, again, not saying it's impossible, but with everything Adam Driver's doing, I think he's also a bit dicier if he would actually come back.
Hey, he just made 65. He's available. Okay.
He's available.
But we actually did talk about this today. If you want to touch on it.
Well, I'll say one thing. John's got a point. Star Wars does need a rom-com. And you know what would make a great rom-com? Rey Skywalker and Force Ghost Ben Solo tried to date each other.
That's not what
Hold
I was
on.
thinking.
Let me tell you what's going to happen, okay?
All right, tell us what's going to happen.
Ahsoka TV show. They're going to bust out the World Between Worlds again. They're going to truly establish access to it. Rey is going to find it, World Between Worlds, back to before Rise of Skywalker and bring Ben Solo back.
Ben.
Okay? It's going to be great.
I'm thinking he's back.
Yeah. She's actually going to go to that scene from The Last Jedi where he doesn't have his shirt on. And she's like, hey, over here. Come on.
oh, when he has an 8-pack?
Yeah.
Yes. I heard Kylo Ren has an 8-pack, dude.
Dude is shredded. Okay.
Dude is shredded, dude. Kylo Ren is yoked, dude. That would actually be great. I just wish them nothing but happiness.
I'm going to be honest. Hopefully there's no Rey lowers watching because I think that's actually a terrible relationship. They've never had a good interaction with one another. It's never made any sense to me. He is horrible to her at all times, and nobody should be rooting for that relationship.
I guess you never watched Naruto, bro. Okay.
That said, when Ben Solo returns in The Rise of Skywalker, it is the best thing about that movie. So I would still be happy to have Ben Solo back. I just don't think that's a relationship that should work. Or if it does work, it should basically start from scratch.
I was gonna say it's like, because then they have to explain like what is his role in this as a Force Ghost at that point.
Yeah.
Because that
I want Luke Skywalker back as a ghost. I want him just to be like eating cereal.
I mean, I love
just be like, hey, Rey, how's your day going?
yeah. Especially after like the awkward Force Ghost scene at the very end of Rise of Skywalker.
I wish Luke would just come back so we can get consistent character moments from him, because The Last Jedi and Rise of Skywalker felt like fucking whiplash.
No, they didn't. They fit together perfectly.
Sure, everything fits together perfectly.
The end. We don't have to relitigate this, but the end of Last Jedi, he realizes the error of his ways, and he says, "Oh shoot, I better change what I'm doing here." And then that's exactly what he does in Rise of Skywalker.
You're right.
He literally did say that he was wrong. So
yeah.
They're just gonna fucking bring de-age. They're gonna de-age Mark Hamill. They're gonna
wait. They can't de-age him.
They're not de-aging.
It's 15 years later. They need to age
no,
him
I'm
up.
saying like they're gonna de-age him in Ahsoka and have him pull himself out of the World Between Worlds.
Hey, real quick, why is it 15 years later? They're gonna have to age all these people up. Like Daisy Ridley barely looks a day older than when she's in The Force Awakens.
If they didn't even attempt to age up Bo-Katan, who should be like 80, like 100 right now,
What?
like why are they gonna age up?
When Rebels, she was basically born. Oh wait, was she born in like in the Empire? What's the Empire year? The year that the Empire became a thing. She was born right around there, right?
No, she was in the Clone Wars. What are you talking about?
Sabine?
Oh, we're talking about Bo-Katan, dude. I said
Oh,
Yeah.
Bo-Katan. Sorry, I thought you
Yeah,
said
Sabine was like 16 in Rebels.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. That's why I thought she was like born on Empire Day or something.
No,
Somebody was.
One of them was. Was
Yeah.
Ezra born on Empire Day? I think Ezra might have
Maybe.
been.
Okay, yeah, Bo-Katan, right. She was like, if we're being generous, we could say she was like 18 during the Clone Wars or something, which means she would be 40 at the beginning of there. So she should be about 50 during Mandalorian.
Yeah, she used to be a really good, like,
I don't-
young-looking
Yeah.
50-year-old.
I don't think you really need to age up Daisy Ridley that much.
No, she's by.
a teeny bit. She's
By
By
the
the
like
time the
late.
movie comes out, she's like 30. She's 30 now. I mean, when she's
Oh, okay. Wait, is she
how
30
old
now?
she's supposed yeah, she's 30
She's
now.
Oh, okay.
She's over
Then maybe
30.
you don't need to age her up because she's supposed to be like 17 or something. At
Yeah,
the
so
beginning of
Yeah.
she'll be a
Force Awakens.
whatever
Yeah.
makeup.
No.
Yeah.
she'll be fine.
I think they need the 15 years because I think they want to tell a movie with a somewhat already established new Jedi Order. Because you don't really want to see a movie where she's building it again. Because then we're gonna start with all the nonsense of like, oh, this is kind of retreading Luke and Kylo's thing. So let's start out with an already established new, like, let's see what Rey's Jedi Order looks like.
You know
Like,
what I
let's
wish
see
they
that.
did?
What?
So here, Return of the Jedi, Luke does not start rebuilding the Jedi because he doesn't think that he is
Yeah, he
ready
goes
to do that.
trinkets.
He goes out
looking
and
for
he
trinkets.
studies the Force, right? He becomes
Nerd.
he becomes a Jedi and Force historian, right? Not
Nerd.
just Jedi and the Force. He seeks out all kinds of Force users,
What an idiot.
right? That to me sounds like an incredible story to tell, but we never got that. Only in the books and a little bit in comics and stuff like that. So to me, it's weird to now take Daisy Ridley and put her into the forming the new Jedi when we could now put that on screen and just do it with her instead. Because, like, she was Luke's protege. It makes sense for her to sort of follow the same path. Like, you could have a scene where he's saying, like, look, I didn't start the Jedi right away because I knew that I wasn't ready. Just like you are not ready. You've barely done anything as a Jedi.
Yeah.
You need to explore and learn. And then we can get that. Like, man, that sounds freaking sick.
Yeah,
It's my
we'll
nephew.
get that in like books and stuff.
Yeah, I know. But I want to see it in a movie. Because, again, like Pat's saying, it's kind of like a little bit of a retread at that point. Like, we've kind of told this story before from the prequels all the way into, like the flashbacks of the sequel trilogy and whatnot. So
The one thing
whatever.
I want is Rey's Jedi have to be different. If her Jedi aren't different, what the hell is the point?
Yeah.
What the hell is the point of any of the sequel trilogy?
Well, I mean, I think they have to be more in line with like the Luke school of Jedi, right? So it's like I think that's a good way where you can maintain Luke's story and kind of how he was a different kind of Jedi and continue that story. So that way Luke is still like an important sort of like figurehead of this new order, even though he's not the one training them.
Yeah, they need to have a big statue of Luke in the front of the school.
Yeah.
Where he's just in a robe with a
lightsaber.
lightsaber.
You remember in Rogue One when they fly over and there's that Jedi like cliff? It's like literally sculpted into the cliff. That's what they need. They need that of Luke.
That. They need the shot of him about to kill his nephew from the last Jedi. They need that inside of the cliff.
He was never about to kill his nephew.
All right, Nikki.
Clearly established.
No. I was just saying that should be the cliff, not him killing Ben. The flying over the cliff. That's the opening shot of the trailer. We just pitched that easily.
It's like, hey, and then it's Mark Hamill, and then it's Luke's Force Ghost, like cleaning the statue. Like,
I mean, that would be fun.
Hey, welcome. Here's a story about Rey Skywalker. Did you know she took our name randomly?
It wasn't random, okay? Found family. It's beautiful.
Found family.
She had their silent approval.
Oh shit! It's like the blind side.
Mm-hmm.
She got blindsided.
Yeah. But here's moral of the story.
Nikki,
big fan of Daisy Ridley. Big fan of Rey Skywalker. Of the announced movies, this is the one I'm most excited for. I know there's some people that they don't love the sequel trilogy or whatever. They're weirdos. Me personally, big fan. Love them. Last Jedi is the best. I even like the Rise of Skywalker. It has some some pretty bad faults. It missteps in a few big ways, but ultimately I think it does some good things. And I like all the characters, so that goes a long ways.
Hey,
Fair
hey.
Babu
Babu
Frick.
Frick, best character in all Star Wars, hands down, hands down. John, what are your thoughts on? Did you like Rey Skywalker?
I do. I very much enjoyed all of these sequel trilogy films. I'm a big fan of Force Awakens. Last Jedi is probably my least favorite of the trilogy, mostly because Rise of Skywalker, even though it's the most Star Wars movie that was ever Star Wars, and it's just I had a big smile on my face the entire film. But I they're all really good, and they're a lot better than anything that the prequels did in terms of quality. Which anyone who says the prequel trilogy is better is like, what movies were you watching?
Yeah, this is I got to get this off my chest, you guys. The prequels are fucking bad.
The prequels are not bad.
They
They're
are
memes.
bad.
They're memes.
They're memes now.
Yeah,
They're living
the writing's
memes.
bad, the dialogue's bad.
Okay? Everything about this movies is bad.
They have survived the Great Purge to live on. Like this is their Force Ghost. Their Force Ghost is them living on as memes.
Now that being said, pod racing, awesome. Darth Maul
Pod
lightsaber
racing.
duel,
Yes.
awesome.
That game was
Every
sick,
movie should have a 27-minute long scene of pod racing in it, okay?
I agree. I don't disagree.
With Greg Proops and that other guy commentating. I don't remember who that
Yes.
was.
Hey, I'll
Listen.
try spinning. That's a neat trick.
Listen,
Whoa.
guys, I will say this. This movie I'm super excited for because this is what I wanted the sequel trilogy to be in the first place. Like, this is what I wanted from the beginning. I wanted to see the establishment of a new Jedi Order, something different from the Jedi Order that we saw in the prequel trilogy. And I wanted to see a teacher come into terms with that and find out what happens when that school and possibly the universe is threatened. So if that's the movie we're gonna get and it's Rey, I don't care because I love Rey. Let's just make it happen. Let's stop living in nostalgia. Let's make some new content, please.
Yes, agree. Let the past die. Kill it.
Kill it if you have to.
Like the prequels. Actually, we should do a world between worlds where they make the prequels not happen.
So basically, you're like one of those guys on petition.com.
And also, let me be clear. I love the prequels, okay? Watched all of them many, many times.
You're all over the place right now, dude.
Love the prequels. They're bad movies, though.
They're very, very bad
all of
movies,
Star Wars.
but there's a lot of redeeming qualities.
I hope Partis hits you so hard with a dodgeball.
Look, I love Star Wars, including the
Zach
prequels.
will not be able to dodge it because Zach
Look,
cannot dodge balls.
there's actually only one Star Wars that I do not love. Actually, that's not true. There's several, but the main one that I really, really do not love is the Book of Boba Fett. That is an atrocity, and there should actually be a petition to have that removed from the internet.
Hey, do you guys know what's not an atrocity?
Fantastic.
Dan Bettenhausen of the Fancastic 4
Whoa.
podcast.
Now this is pod racing.
Whoa. This
Let's
is
try
pod
spinning.
racing.
That's a neat trick.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, that was good.
Maybe this one. What was he doing? Is he pulling down?
He's just
something
flipping
for a trigger?
switches and like.
Wait, why try the one that looks like a trigger?
Yeah, he literally saved an entire planet from being conquered by droids by accidentally flipping a few switches and then spinning.
Guys,
Okay.
I think Anakin Skywalker is kind of an idiot.
He was also a
Kind of
child.
Kind of, yeah.
He was also
kind of
a
an
child.
So what? Okay, so is Baby Yoda.
Yeah, I was gonna say, so is Baby Yoda. You don't
So
see
is
him.
Baby
Wait a
Yoda.
second.
No, wait.
He doesn't try spinning, he just tries flipping.
Baby Yoda's like
Very good flipper.
It's like 60 years old and acts like a child. So
Yes.
like,
but
like
he can,
seven.
but he
Double
does
standards
he
here.
does flips, okay? He doesn't do spinning. He's like spinning a neat trick. No.
No,
Flipping.
Flipping.
That's a
a
good
neat
trick.
trick.
100%. Oh my God, Dan. Are
And
you
also,
excited to
Baby
see-
Yoda should be drop kicked into a volcano.
100%. I would
That's-
happily like
His name
Jack
is
Black's,
Grogu.
like Jack Black's character in Anchorman, I just want to punt him off of the Golden Gate Bridge in San Francisco.
Bad.
Hey, can I just tell a quick funny anecdote?
Please.
Sure.
Several
Sure.
of us were, several of us were in a Zoom call the other night, just hanging out, not streaming, just hanging out for the fun of it. And I said, why hasn't Jack Black been in a Fast and Furious movie yet?
That's true.
Those are words that
This
came
is
out of my
right.
mouth. The next day, I watched Mando and Jack Black.
He was in a Star Wars.
It was
He
crazy.
was-
They're kinda like the
really
same thing,
did
Fast and
Jack
Furious, Star
Black.
Wars.
Not in the Fast movies, but
No.
in Star Wars.
Yeah, I mean the two best franchises that exist. He wasn't in one, but he was in the other. Crazy stuff.
No, I think you mean Power Rangers, dude.
Oh yeah, sorry.
When I think
Go
Star
Power
Wars,
Rangers.
makes me want Jack Black, Lizzo, and Christopher Lloyd.
Yes,
Totally
Christopher
what I want.
Lloyd. That was a surprising one. Jack Black,
See,
I was like,
that's-
oh, okay, they got Jack Black. I see what they're doing. But then Christopher Lloyd, I was like, what?
They
Christopher
actually
Lloyd?
got Christopher Lloyd to be in Mando as a tease for Ahsoka. The world, but they have to go back to the future.
Whoa.
Doc Brown actually went so far back in time, long time ago, and got stuck in whatever galaxy far away it was.
Yes.
That's wild. All right, James Mangold.
Wait, Dan didn't even talk about Daisy Ridley yet, dude.
Oh, Dan loves Daisy Ridley.
Dan, do you love Daisy? Is it true that you hate Daisy Ridley, Dan?
I don't hate Daisy Ridley. I'm assuming we're talking about her.
Yes,
coming back.
the Rey Skywalker.
My Spark
Jedi
Note
film.
version of the news is I have no problem with Rey returning. I don't like the idea of the story because it's just going to be a cyclical story about the Jedi trying to come back, fucking up, Sith doing the dark side doing things.
No,
they're
the
gonna
Jedi
do it
will already
differently.
be back.
They're
Yeah.
gonna do it differently. They're gonna be smart enough to know that they can't just do
For
Jedi
now,
Falls.
until 30 years from now, when they want to tell a different story, and
They got to do like an outside force of some sort. Something's
even
got to
if
come
it
from the
is-
unknown
yeah.
regions or something.
What if it's like a
my point
giant
being,
bug?
saying I don't like the fact that they're calling it the Jedi Order again. Zach, you and I've talked about this a little bit.
Yeah.
It undoes again lessons learned from Last Jedi. Call it something else.
Yeah.
Another force using force for good.
Yeah, I mean,
Doesn't
look,
need to be
we did
That's a
mention this
terrible
before,
name. It's bad
but
for
we
branding.
did say just a moment ago before you got here, like they need to establish that this is not the same Jedi Order. This is a Jedi Order based on Luke's teachings and not based on the
So the New
old
Testament.
era. Yeah, essentially,
Yes.
right. This is the
Yeah.
New Testament, and oh, wait a second. I was going to say Luke is Jesus, but technically Rey is Jesus. So
So Luke
this is weird.
God?
So hold on. So Rey, she is Jesus, but then she takes on her disciples after she's been resurrected instead of before. That's exciting.
So she's not Jesus. She's just a person.
Well, no, she was
No,
resurrected.
she was.
So
yes.
so is Luke the Holy Spirit?
Or is he?
No, I
God?
guess Ben Solo's the Holy Spirit.
Oh shit!
Holy shit, they're the Trinity.
Happy
Oh,
Good Friday,
shit.
everyone. On
Oh,
Easter too. Easter weekend, it's perfect.
Wow.
We
this is
effing
incredible.
nailed
we
it,
solved
bro.
the new Jedi Order.
we're gonna get copyright struck by Lucasfilm. Like, how did you see our
Oh,
script?
I thought you were gonna say copyright striked by the
Jesus.
Bible.
We're also gonna. That's also gonna happen. Yeah, but yeah. So that's going on in Star Wars. Speaking of religion,
Yeah.
Jedi's are back, baby.
They're back.
No, but I think that Rey would keep the name Jedi to kind of prove that they can be better, that they can
Yeah.
build a better Jedi Order.
we also have Rey has all the sacred Jedi text, right?
Yes,
The
page
So
Sacred
turn.
between
Jedi
Luke
text.
and the original, so we have to assume that the Jedi originally were good. Like they were pretty rad,
Yeah,
Hence the James Mangold. film
Yes.
that
Okay. That's a
Monty
good
does.
segue into the James Mangold stuff. But I think we have to assume that they were good and that they became kind of shitty by the time we get into the prequels.
yeah,
Right.
absolutely. That was the Jedi at their peak shittiness, the
Yeah.
prequel Jedi. And I think that I had something I was going to say, and I totally just slipped my mind. I think that, oh yeah, you know what Rey has that's better than the Jedi text? She has Luke.
Right.
Luke could just show up and be like, "Hey, here, let me help you with your homework. We also figured out that Luke and Leia blindsided Rey. They adopted her like the blind side.
Yeah.
And she became a Skywalker.
But adopted her into a brother-sister family. not
a
husband and wife. This is not. They're not
nuclear,
parents.
not a nuclear family.
Yeah,
An
they're not
incestuous nuclear
parents.
family.
Yeah, right.
Whoa, what a Star Wars is pretty modern.
But yeah, so she's got the original Jedi tech. She has like the foremost, like most researched and knowledgeable person of the Force. Again, not just Jedi, but of the Force in Luke to sort of help her out.
Yoda's still a Force ghost.
Yeah, but he's a bitch.
No,
But hey, speaking of
Yoda's the
Yoda,
best.
Grogu should be like in his 90s at this point. Yoda started teaching Jedis when he was like 100.
Oh no! Wait! You just. Oh no! You just put something in my mind that
you know it's coming.
Grogu's gonna be part of it.
No,
Grogu's gonna be part of it.
I swear to God, if Grogu was a student,
no, he's gonna be.
Dude, he's gonna be a teacher.
Yeah, but he'll still be a baby. He's still gonna be a baby.
He's gonna be 100.
He didn't let me finish. Yoda started teaching young Jedi at like 100. Like he'll be around 100 years old at this point.
No, he can't. I swear to God, if Grogu's in this, I'm gonna. Oh no!
Yo, Grogu's gonna be a teenager at that point, technically. So he's gonna come in like hair in a mohawk, like tats all up his arm.
Wait! Hold on. What if he runs a competing Jedi order, and they have a martial arts competition?
The new Jedi Mandalorian war with Grogu leading the Mandalorians.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Yeah, that's a good point. Right. Grogu, not a Jedi. He's a Mandalorian. So
yeah, but he's also a Jedi.
No, he's a Force user.
There were Jedi Mandalorians.
He's not a Jedi. He's a Force
but what
user.
if he chooses
rejected the Jedi?
No, he just wanted to go with his daddy for a little bit.
He missed his dad.
He abandoned Luke.
Yeah, he's a prick.
Yeah.
Luke got him Yoda's lightsaber.
Luke is God, and he abandoned him.
He left God.
I've abandoned my child. I've abandoned
my boy.
Yeah, honestly, like Grogu's a dick because Luke spent all the time putting together that little chainmail Grogu-sized vest, and he was gonna give him Yoda's lightsaber. He's like, bro, you know how cool this shit is? This is Yoda's lightsaber.
And he literally showed up and killed all those killer droids.
Yeah.
Like, you're welcome. Can we do some training? This guy learned how to do a front flip, and he said, all right, I got it. Peace. What?
Then Luke's like, now I know why Yoda hated me.
To be fair, Luke did the same thing. He learned how to do a front flip, and he was like, all right, I'm going to go save my friends on Bespin later. No, I got it. I'm good.
Okay, I don't want to interject, but I know the Monty Squirts are big WWE fans, and I currently have SmackDown on, and Triple H just announced in a few short weeks the biggest draft is coming to truly change the game. Because
the military draft.
I was going to say World War III kicking off.
The WWE is holding a military draft.
Let's talk about James Mangold.
James Mangold. Director of Logan, director of
pretty much nothing.
Ford v Ferrari, great movie.
Yes.
Ford versus Ferrari.
Speaking of God, speaking of religion, James Mangold will be directing a film covering the first Jedi to be discovered to wield the Force, set 25,000 years before the original trilogy. That's interesting. That's an interesting concept. That's a fascinating concept that we really haven't explored before. I mean, we got snippets of information here and there. We saw, I think that was a silhouette of the first Jedi, correct me if I'm wrong, in The Last Jedi that was in Luke's school.
So that they say it's the Prime Jedi, which obviously Prime would be first. I don't know if that's more of like a symbolic thing, right? Like it's not referring, it's like sorry if there's any religious literalists out there, but like Adam and Eve, right? Like you don't have to assume Adam and Eve were real people, but they represent sort of like the foundation of humanity, or sort of like the beginning of humanity's story. in the same way, I think that's probably what the Prime Jedi is. The Prime Jedi is probably just like an idea of the foundation of the Jedi. And that's my take on it.
Well, how weird would it be? You're just some dude 25,000 years prior, and you're just like send your hand out like you're stretching, and you just like push rocks with your mind, like.
Or you get really angry and desperate, like Rey in the Rise of Skywalker, and then you just shoot lightning out of your hand, and you're like, whoa.
So it's like
That's
that.
dope.
So it's like that scene in Amazing Spider-Man when he's in the bathroom, he just fucks up everything.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no,
It's
like waking up one day and you realize that you are like a god.
Yeah. I wonder if we're gonna have like notes of, and I hate to say this because I might summon some, but we're gonna have notes of some Snyderverse-esque themes in here, because the Superman in the Snyderverse is essentially a person raised on Earth as a human, struggling with the fact that half of humanity hates them and half of humanity thinks they are a god, a deity. So I wonder if this movie is going to deal with a lot of those same themes, that this person, this creature, alien, human being, whatever race they decide to make this creature, just one day realizes he can tap into this force and he has these insane abilities. And I'm sure that while many people will view this person as a deity and as a religious figure, a lot of other people are not going to be happy about this. They're going to be like, hey, what you're doing, not cool, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Leave those rocks there. Stop moving those rocks.
Well, yeah.
So did the synopsis that you just read, that's what it says? It says it's about an individual, a single person, like discovering that they are a Jedi?
From what I'm reading, and from what I read this morning, it says that it's going to be about I don't know if they're going to be if it's going to be about the discovery, but it's going to be about the first known Jedi.
See, because again, mentally, if I'm pitching this in my mind of what I think this movie should be, or kind of what makes sense, especially from like a more traditional storytelling perspective, I don't think you treat it like a superhero. So the Superman thing for me, if that's the way it goes, I think that's pretty bad, because as much as the Jedi are effectively superheroes, I don't think you should treat them that way. You should treat them, as sort of like supernatural religious beings, essentially, right?
Well, I mean,
So,
I didn't say.
No, hold on. Just let me finish, because this goes into kind of what I think how I hope it plays out and what I think it probably will play out, which is it's probably like a loose collection of people who have sort of like a pseudo religious bond with one another, because they have discovered that they all have these abilities of some sort, be it power over the mind or, telekinesis or whatnot, and that they probably begin to hone these powers and hone these ideas and sort of formalize sort of what it is they're trying to accomplish and how they can best achieve those goals. And then they name themselves essentially the Jedi Order for one reason or another. Like, to me, that makes way more sense. It's about sort of them sort of crafting their purpose, not about necessarily them like discovering their powers. To me, that's like a way more compelling story.
All right, Dan, John, any thoughts on the film? Do you guys think it's something different? Do you guys think Zach sucks? Let me know.
No, I mean, that makes sense. I wonder if in this, depending on if this is going to be a one-off, multiple films, if we're going to get kind of the schism within that whatever leads to there being a light and dark side in this film, or if it's alluded to and we might get another film that talks about that. So I'm interested to see how much ground it covers with the early history of the Jedi, and then ultimately what becomes the Sith.
Yeah.
No, I like the idea of going back as far as you can, and just really, because I think there's a quote that says like dawn of the Jedi. So whatever that means is very intriguing. And then seeing where the split become, or you can see more of a split between the light and the dark, because the whole idea is like I mean, everybody, the idea of using the Force for good and then using it for bad, which maybe is not necessarily intentional, just for something that kind of happens, is very it's always been very interesting and intriguing. So
To that point, John, I don't think, especially probably early on, it's not necessarily them thinking, "Oh, I'm bad." It's just
something that happens.
Right. You have this, like, we should use these for we are the superior beings. We have these abilities. We should use them to their full capacity and not limit ourselves. Where the other side's probably more like, no, we have to control this. These are a gift. We have a responsibility. So it's more the degrees in which the power is used than like some malicious force.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah.
I agree at 100%. Where like if you're gonna do, especially if you can spread this out over like a trilogy, where you show it as really just like a diverging of methods, more or less, right? Where the schism between what we would end up calling the light side and the dark side is something pretty minor and like fairly philosophical at the beginning, and then it becomes a bit more and more practical and a bit wider and wider of a divide as you go until you get to like a full blown, you are actively trying to destroy what I am doing, and therefore I will actively try and destroy what you are doing type of mentality. Where
not so different than current religions today.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's fascinating. I think to me, what's also exciting is this is because they released a timeline. What, like John said, this era they're calling the dawn of the Jedi, and it's that they're using that same logo for this era that we saw in Luke's temple in the Last Jedi, and then of course the next era would be the Old Republic, and then the New Republic, and then so on and so forth from there. But what's so cool about this era is it's unexplored, unknown.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm so curious to see what the aesthetic they choose for this era will be. Like what the costumes will look like, what's the set design going to be, like what does the Star Wars universe look like 25,000 years beyond anything that we know.
Yeah, I think especially given that this is a science fiction genre, to some degree, like what will the technology look like 25,000 years ago? Because that's something that always kind of irks me about like Knights of the Old Republic or something like that, is that effectively the technology is like not discernible from the current technology. And it feels like over 25,000 years or whatever, you should be able to see specific advancements in ways that they were limited technologically there. I mean, they can still be incredibly advanced technologically, but they should not be as advanced as we see them in, current era Star Wars.
Or just don't be identical.
Yeah.
And I think we've gotten, at least in what's no longer canon, like the advancement, especially of like lightsaber technology, how that had advanced. But I think just to the general era, it'll be important to see that difference, and not just with this tools that Jedi use. Yeah,
that'll actually be a real nice aesthetic touch, which is like Kylo Ren's lightsaber being all crackly is kind of a result of like a cracked crystal, or them not having mastered the art of sort of like procuring and using a crystal. So I think it would be a real nice touch if they're like making the first lightsabers back then and they're all kind of just nasty and crackly like that. That would be cool.
Like they're big and clunky. They had to wear like backpack power cells or something.
Yeah.
They're just like kind of flopping around, hitting each other.
The different weapon styles they choose, might not be as elegant as the saber is.
Oh, guys.
Like a club or something.
Yes. Or the Star Wars universe back then just looks like modern day New York, and just a bunch of guys with backwards fitted hats and Tims discover they could use the Force, and they craft lightsabers that are like the Ninja Turtle weapons.
Well, I was just gonna say lightsaber nunchucks,
and then like above the Empire State Building, like a big portal opens up, and like aliens start coming through.
Yes, dude.
And then there's like a giant bomb, and they have to like blow up the portal.
Dude. Oh shit! Too soon, dude. Too soon. That would be sick. Guys, I think we just wrote Star Wars.
Hell no. Step aside, Filoni.
James Mangold, give us a call.
Hey, but also, I do just want to say James Mangold, incredible. He's made some of my favorite movies of all time. Love the guy, so I'm incredibly excited for him to make a Star Wars movie.
My gosh, like this guy doesn't miss.
He doesn't miss. He's done such a plethora of genres, no less.
Yeah. And he's also, while writing, I'm pretty sure he's writing and directing this, he's also writing and directing Swamp Thing. So he's concurrently developing two pretty big studio films about two completely different subject matters.
And he just did two other ones with Logan and Indy.
Yeah. So this guy's just, he's got the goods.
He literally
Among people that have never directed a Star Wars film, he's probably like number 2, literally number 2 on my list of people that I want to make a Star
Yeah,
Wars
but who
film.
does number 2 work for?
Denis Villeneuve? Because he's number 1.
Ooh, a Denise Star Wars would be
Incredible. Truly groundbreaking.
What are you talking about? He's making Star Wars. He's making
Fool.
Star Wars Part 2 right
Do
now.
not be a fool.
Star Wars with more Batista right now. And Elvis.
With more Zendaya.
More Zendaya. I don't know, guys. Anything else from Celebration today that you want to talk about that we haven't touched on?
Hey, who do you guys want to portray the first Jedi?
That's a good question.
Fan cast the first Jedi.
ooh.
Right in your wheelhouse, Dan.
I got one already.
What?
You know
Should
who
it
would
be a
be
young? You think the first Jedi should be a young person or an old person?
If are we talking about? See, are we talking about the first Jedi, or are
Well,
we talking about
like maybe again, if we're using
Protagonist, maybe.
if we're using my outline here, like who is the person driving this transition from a loosely like kind of organized group into like an actually rigidly defined group with
That's a
specific
great question.
purposes? Because I think it needs to be. Gosh, part of me thinks it could be someone young, like a up and coming teenager, kind of is like not happy with the way of the world, kind of, and they're like, we can do better, we can change this, because like young people they're always like have this different outlook on life, like things can be better, everybody. They're not like
People can
worn
change.
down by life yet. But like an old person, maybe like I've seen some shit and we got to do better.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's tricky.
See, if we were doing the old person, I would have said Idris Elba, because I think that Idris Elba has that gravitas. He has that intensity that I've seen shit. Like he can portray someone who's seen shit, and he wants to make a change, and he wants to be like, hey, we got to do things differently. I'm Idris Elba, and I'm like, you're right, Idris Elba. I agree. We do need to do things differently.
Yeah.
That would probably be my.
That's a good one.
That would be my older one.
I'd say kind of middle, not so younger. Again, I've cast him in other things before, but I think Nicholas Hoult is looking for that moment. I think he's a fantastic actor, and I think he could fit very well in. He's done action. He's done kind of those independent pieces. I think he'd fit well as a Jedi, or at least the precursor to the Jedi.
I like it. Oh, I got a young one. You know who my young one would be? Aman Vellani from Miss Marvel. I think that she brings this innocence and this positivity, especially hearing her talk in interviews and seeing that inner nerd come out of her. I think that she brings this really light. She embodies lightness, and I think that to see her portray this character with so much that wants to see the world change and wants to be that change that they see in the world, I think that she would knock that out of the park.
Okay, but what if it was Timothy Chalamet?
I knew you were going to say that.
Yeah, and then the antagonist could be
Austin Butler.
what's his face? Austin Butler. Yeah, and he's sick. And he's so
Oh
sick.
my god. Okay.
So much.
Anyway, just regarding that, okay, eyeball pick, but like kind of like in a weird way in line with yours and the polar opposite of yours. A middle, like the mid-age kind of, but like the more grizzled, pessimistic. I just love Tana Huerta because I was thinking like he has kind of that grizzled negative outlook that he has in Wakanda Forever. It's like, man, that would actually translate kind of well to that viewpoint.
Yeah, his Namor or Namor, if you're a comic fan, is very. It almost seems to me like he would be a great antagonist. Like he would be a great, like he would be the counterpoint. He would, like he would be the second Jedi. Like there would be the first Jedi and the second Jedi, and they have conflicting. Like he would be this Prince Zuko, like in the scenario.
I gotta say, you bringing up Black Panther like instantly made me think Winston Duke. Also,
I swear to you, I was just about to say that.
Yeah,
I swear to God, I was just about to say Winston Duke.
He would be the light, the good side. He would be.
Oh, yeah,
or if you did the Idris Elba thing, he could be like the younger Idris Elba. Like passage of time. Could have Winston Duke and then Idris Elba later. Oh man, James Mangold, call us.
Call us.
They're also all under Disney. It's very possible.
I
Oh,
think
you
they're-
know-
That is uncanny that you were going with Winston Duke there.
He's great. I
You know,
love him.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know who would actually be great? It would be Brian Tyree Henry. I think he
Oh
would
God,
be good.
yeah. Oh
I
yeah.
think he would. I think he would bring something to the table there. I feel like Joseph Gordon-Levitt would play like a guy who owns like a hut in that movie. I think he would be really good at that. So have him in the movie also.
I mean, I got a good one.
All right, let's
I
hear
mean,
it.
when you're talking about this, somebody who can really carry the weight of a franchise
Mhm,
and really
Yeah.
drive it forward and
mhm.
Glad you can say this with a straight face, John.
Yeah.
very versatile.
But
And
also, it should be noted that Paul Walker did pass away several years ago, so he's unavailable, unfortunately. Rip.
R.I.P.
but he can
But
still
with that said, continue.
Force Ghost. But I'm really the one option. I mean, it's Vin Diesel, obviously. I mean, he's already
course.
carrying a multi-billion-dollar franchise.
Dude, Vin Diesel going all in on like embodying like the Jedi mindset sounds fun.
They should-
The Instagram lives of him discussing Jedi philosophy in the lead up to the release would be gold.
And then cast Michael Caine as his mentor because they're like best friends. So
Obviously.
I mean, he does post about how Michael Caine is like, I'm so lucky that you're my best friend, or like very
Jenna Ortega, bro, Matt, go away. Jenna Ortega, get out of here, dude.
That'll increase our viewership. Let's promote Jenna Ortega. Yeah. I like Mason Gooding. Mason Gooding is a good choice. I love him. I think he's a very talented young actor, and I think he could portray that young hopeful
Yeah.
Jedi, but also a little rash, impulsive. That's actually a
I like
good
that.
one, Matt.
Totally. I'd love to see, maybe not even in this movie, I'm just talking in general. I'd love to see Billy Skarsgård as a villain, a Star Wars villain,
Yes.
like a Sith, for sure.
Since Mangold has collaborated with Hugh Jackman a couple of times, I think it would be cool to see Hugh Jackman be like a shitty businessman who hates the fact that this new religious group is on the rise and it's kind of taking away from like our.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say like a
He's
government
like the righteous
official.
gemstones of the Star Wars universe.
Yes,
Uh,
yes, he is the righteous
The hollow
gemstone.
evangelists.
wait, the original Jedi is like a stadium priest or pastor.
A mega church.
Oh,
A
God.
hollow evangelist.
Yeah,
Yes.
right. He's holding big events where he's doing Jedi mind tricks and stuff, and he's like,
If that is the case, you know who's playing the first Jedi, right?
"Yeah, Danny
Hollywood
McBride."
Hollywood
Oh.
superstar Walton Goggins.
Oh, I
Yes.
want Danny McBride, but okay.
Both of them.
Maybe they could both do it. They
Yeah.
could both do it. Man, guys, we just wrote one hell of a movie. this is one.
Man, I know I said I'm most excited for the Rey Skywalker movie, but I mean, man, James Mangold, he's so great. So I'm pretty jazzed
Yeah.
for Dawn of the Jedi.
I
Also,
apologize. Not more. Are you more excited for that or Andor season 2?
I mean, look, Andor is one
I
of the
don't know.
best
I only ask
pieces
'cause
of
I don't know what you're
Star
talking
Wars content ever made. But to me, like, movies are the thing. Movies are Star Wars. So I will always be more excited for movies.
Are movies.
I'll always be more excited for the movies, but like I'm incredibly excited for Andor season 2.
Fair enough. Fair enough. That's I mean, that's a really great point. Is before we move on, is there anything else from Star Wars that you guys want to talk about? Anything else coming out of Celebration?
There are a couple of things. I mean, with them doing the like Old Republic and stuff like. I mean, going back to Knights of the Republic,
Hit us, John.
which is getting a remake at some point.
Yes, the game.
And then you have, I mean, like Revan and Malik and like all those characters that are part of that, like, and still be introduced because they're still releasing like content with them in terms of like collectibles and action figures and stuff like that too, pop figures. So there's that you can go into and throw in. And also, just a quick tip of the cap to Star Wars Jedi Survivor, which launches on the 28th of this month. It's very exciting for in terms of video games as well. Again, continuing with video games, continuing Cal Kestis's story of survival really during post Order 66. So I'm excited now. We're going in 5 years later, so I'm excited to see where he's going to end up in his terms of his struggle of just trying to survive and find other Force users to help save them and try to rebuild what he can post Fallen Order, which is also a great game, great story.
Yeah,
Voice.
I mean, and to touch on this too, I mean, Matt, we did talk
It's
about this.
Law and Order, not Fallen Order at first. Star Wars Law and Order.
Dum dum.
Yeah.
Sounds
But,
great episode, future episode of the Fancasted for the number one fancasted podcast on the internet.
yeah,
Probably.
we did get confirmation that the Mando-Verse is ending. Dave Filoni's film will be the end of the Mando-Verse. I think we're ready. I think everyone's ready to move on. I think Favreau is ready to move on. I think that he's kind of over having to fight everything tooth and nail, and I think he's just ready to do.
To be clear, I'm on Kathleen Kennedy's side here. Okay.
I'm sure you are.
Here's an idea: make a good show.
Chill.
Maybe she won't tell you what to do.
And this kind of works for both our Star Wars and our Power Rangers fans. Like Matt brought up, Hasbro did announce that they were kind of ending the non-plastic windows in the boxes. I mean, they were doing a windowless box to cut down on waste in the environment and to make everything 100% recyclable. But fans were not happy. There was a lot of quality control issues with a lot of their figures. So Hasbro did announce that they were going to be using recycled plastic, and they were going to be putting windows back in the boxes, and that's brand-wide for the most part, especially in the Star Wars Legends, the Marvel Legends, Star Wars Black Series, and Power Ranger Lightning Collection figures. So if you guys collect those, good news for all of us. We don't have to kind of guess what our figure is going to look like, and it's basically being held together by nothing but a thin piece of cardboard. So that's a big plus for that. But in terms of Star Wars, yeah, I mean, we have more Celebration tomorrow. We have which is weird that we got the Ahsoka trailer today because we have an Ahsoka panel tomorrow. But this was kind of the big stuff. A lot of exciting things going on. But I think we're ready to move on to Star Wars, unless you guys have anything final to say on it.
Yeah, let's move on to Star Wars.
All right, we're not going to move on to Star Wars.
That's what you said, though.
No, I said before we. Did I say before we move on to Star Wars?
Yes.
All right. Sorry, guys. Gosh, sorry.
Star Wars is different than Star Wars, so it makes
We
sense.
went through we went back in time, and now we're just starting at the beginning.
The world between
World between worlds.
This is, you know what? This is we were going to talk Power Rangers. We're going to talk Blue Beetle, but we're kind of running long. So let's jump over to Power Rangers. We got a lot of people watching right now that are big Power Rangers fans. I want to ask you guys because we really didn't talk too much. We've spoken about the special before, but I kind of want to gauge your guys' opinion of it. Are you excited for Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Once and Always, the 30th anniversary special on Netflix, coming to Netflix the middle of April? Was it April 19th?
Mm-hmm.
April 19th. Did you check out the trailer? Did you check out our trailer reaction to it? And what are your guys' thoughts?
I mean, I'm excited for it, mostly because I was a Mighty Morphin Power Rangers fan when I was a kid. Loved it. I didn't have any toys as a kid other than like RC cars and stuff, except for Power Rangers. That's the only traditional toy that I bought. I had Power Ranger sheets, Power Ranger covers and whatnot. I was all about the Power Rangers. But frankly, I made it to the movies, and then I don't know if I grew out of it or if I don't know if Mighty Morphin Power Rangers ended, but I never watched any Power Rangers beyond that. So to me, this sort of reunion movie here is going to be pretty sick. I'm looking forward to it.
And it's the return of Zach since he left.
Yeah.
Let's go. Best character of all time.
Yeah, the best person I know named Zach.
What?
What? Anyway,
You don't even know him.
Oh yeah, I do, dude.
They did meet.
Did you not see the thumbnail, my guy?
You didn't meet Zach.
You met Walter Jones.
I met Zach. He was Zach.
Walter
I said
Jones.
Zach, and he was like, "What's up, Monty?"
He doesn't know you.
He didn't say that.
That's exactly how it happened in my head.
Nice. Congrats.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. like I said, I wasn't necessarily something I was asking for, but it's nice that we're getting this. Like I said, beggars can't be choosers. It would be nice if all the people who are around could have joined for it, but I'm excited to see what we're gonna get with it. Yeah, like I said, I don't want to diminish my excitement, but I think Zach, you kind of covered my feelings about it as well.
Fair enough. John, what about you, dude?
I'm excited. I love when they do these sort of special team up episodes or bringing some of the old cast back with the new. So I'm very excited. Just to bring again, obviously, Billy and Zach being back and both looking great and awesome and amazing. And then of course the best Ranger we all know is Adam. And I'm hoping there's a little bit more for him to do than just be like, "Hey guys, how you doing?" Doing globe video screen kind of thing, zooming in. So hopefully there's more from him, which would be awesome. But I'm just excited. Again, all these team ups are usually cool. And again, as Dan was saying, it is unfortunate you couldn't get all. But again, life and situations and all that kind of stuff. But hopefully that maybe opens the door for the future of them wanting to be involved again too.
Yeah, I mean,
I would say we also get Aisha, maybe not named after one of the greatest songs of all time, but
Aisha.
The single greatest song of all time.
Yes, it's. I mean, John, to kind of continue on with that, and to kind of reference something that Johnny said up here, that John Young Bosch said and teased that. His character isn't finished, and Netflix could do a 10-episode series if the special does well. Because last weekend we were at MegaCon. We were in Florida. We went to MegaCon, and we did meet Walter Jones and Karen Ashley. I've met Karen before. She's wonderful. Walter was great. This was Nikki's first time meeting both of them. And Karen basically said the same thing. She said if the viewership is there, if the views are there for the special, they want to do more. So if you guys want more of this, like, hey, if any Ranger fans are watching, know that if we support this special and we come out in droves and we all watch it, then they will make more of this and they will continue to build on the lore and mythology of these characters and bring these old characters back. So yeah, maybe people that weren't able to make it for Once and Always can be a part of whatever they do in the future, but we got to watch it. So if you want more of this stuff, watch the special. Watch it a couple of times.
If not, watch it for Rocky. All right. Okay. This is a redemption story.
Rocky Demption. The Rocky Demption, baby.
I just hope his back is healed up properly.
Yeah, me too.
It was a serious injury.
Listen, back injuries are nothing to mess with, okay? Give him all the time he needs, all right?
They gave him 30 years.
Yeah, let him heal up, okay? You don't want to rush. You don't want to rush this, okay?
It's probably okay if he's a firefighter, though.
Yeah, we did. We covered in the last stream that he is a firefighter now, so probably okay. But Nikki, how was your first time meeting this was your first time meeting any of the Rangers?
It was. I haven't been to, other than New York Comic Con, I haven't been to a con where like I went out of my way to meet a celebrity in probably years. But it was really cool because they were at the Ranger Stop booth, so that's where they had all the merch. I bought my first Morpher at the booth at New York Comic Con, so that was pretty cool. But no, they were wonderful. Karen was very pleasant to talk to, and she was very excited about the special and just excited for everyone to get to see it. And they were very careful with what they were saying, of course.
Yeah, I tried, guys. I tried.
But no, she was great. Walter was great. And they were so great when we asked to morph with them. My first morph did not go over very well because I don't know how angles work. I've gotten better though. But no, it was honestly a really cool experience.
Why were you holding up a 3?
This is how they morph. 3.
Okay.
Well, that's technically how Walter morphs.
Yeah.
Because he has 4 fingers on one hand. So he does the little 3.
I completely forgot to. Oh my god, I always forget that.
Yeah, I mean, because it's not something you're looking for. Why? And then if you are looking for that, that's weird.
That's.
Hey, can I see your 4-fingered hand? Why, that's rude.
That is rude. That. Stop doing
Very
that,
rude,
Nikki.
Jeez.
Oh my god.
And over the weekend, we did get confirmation from Karen Ashley that the SPA stands for Space Patrol Alpha, not Academy, like some people were saying, and that she implied pretty heavily that is a precursor to SPD. SPD is Space Patrol Delta. Alpha comes before Delta. So we're going to see... Yeah, I know. I'm blowing your minds right now, dude. In the Greek alphabet, Alpha is first. Can you believe that?
Preposterous.
Omega is last.
Omega.
Omega.
And now we're back to Star Wars.
Star Wars rules.
Now we're all over the place.
Adore the rules.
But yeah, that's pretty much all the major Power Ranger news we have following this week. I'm sure there will be more major stuff to talk about in the weeks coming to Once and Always.
It's less than 2 weeks away now.
Yeah, pretty excited. I wish they would promote it more. They're doing a horrible job promoting it. I wish they would let me promote it. I wish someone would let me promote it more than I already am, but they're not. So yeah, Nikki. But listen, guys, anyone in the chat?
Hold on. There is some other news. Don't forget that the absent Amy Jo Johnson, who will be appearing at Des Moines Con in early June, is going to be writing a Power Rangers comic book for Boom Comics.
Yes, that is true. I forgot that we didn't cover that because that was last week and we were away. So yes, Dan, thank you for correcting.
You're welcome. I thought this was the Power Rangers channel.
It is the Power Rangers channel. I'm slipping, guys. Whoa.
Damn.
Oh no, I'm losing my Ranger cred.
I get this is the best source for Power Ranger talk, opinion, chat, fandom.
But that was pretty cool. I thought that was pretty cool. It's something that she's been working on for a while now, that she's been keeping a little close to the chest. It's clear that she's not done with Power Rangers. She very much has her Power Ranger fan base in mind for the 30th anniversary. And she gave a lot of great reasons over Twitter as to why she might not have wanted to come back for Once and Always. The fact that, hey, she would have to fly to New Zealand for a month, and she couldn't do that because she had other obligations. And wearing spandex in your 50s is not really ideal for a lot of people, which I thought was hilarious because she's right. Like, it's kind of crazy to like bulk up and get in shape to wear spandex in your 50s. It's like, yeah, it's a lot. So it's a huge commitment. But again, her comments make me think that she's involved, just not in the way that we think she is. So like she's in all of these things. Like she's always implying like, yeah, I didn't go film, but not to say like she didn't do ADR or she didn't like film something in LA over Zoom that she sent over, or film something because she is a director. She filmed something herself and sent over.
She's the new Zordon.
She is the new Zordon. She would be a big. Have you seen the old Zordon? Kind of a dick.
kind of a fool.
Just Amy Jo Johnson's face in the big tube there.
Zordon should be put with Donatello in the Fraud Hall of Fame.
Man, I can't wait until we watch the Power Rangers movie.
Yeah, Power Ranger movie live stream coming to the MontyVerse.
Guys,
soon.
If you think we should do a Power Rangers watch along, leave a comment down below.
The Power Rangers movie watch along.
Yeah, if you guys think we should do, that's actually a good idea, Zach. If you guys think we should do a Power Ranger movie watch along, leave a comment down below.
Would you join? All right, just leave either a yes or a no in the comments below.
Or a go.
Or it's morphin time. Or morphin not. This is getting too complicated.
I mean, please, a yes or a no will do.
Just a yes or a no. Just a yes or a no. Let us know if that's something you guys would want to do, because I think that would be fun. Reacting to Power Rangers is fun because of the reason why it's so much fun and why we're having fun with it is because Power Rangers is such a cool franchise. It mixes the intensity of fandom and lore building and mythology with the cheesy silliness of the 90s. And I can't help but love it. So, yeah, that would be fun.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. But I'm going to open it up to the chat. If anyone in the chat has any questions before we go, let us know. We're going to be on for another couple of minutes. So get your questions in if you have any, and we'll be fielding any questions. But while we wait for any questions to come in, let me ask you guys a question.
A question before the questions.
A question, but let me ask you guys a question.
He's the prime question.
I'm question prime. Prime question. I'm Logan Paul. I'm question prime. If you guys were a Power Ranger, what color Ranger would you be?
What the heck kind of question is that? If
That's
you
a
went
good
by
question.
Listen, if you went by my aesthetic, you would say, obviously the Blue Ranger. But here's the thing. I'm not an idiot, okay? And my name is Zach, so I gotta be the Black Ranger. Gotta be.
So it wasn't an obvious question. What are you talking about?
Yes, that is obvious.
You just said.
You just gave us a reason why
No.
it wasn't obvious.
No, listen. If you were a fool, then you would think it was blue. But for anyone, all right, okay. So it's obvious for anyone that's not a fool.
I guess
Okay.
we're all fools.
Zach would definitely be
Wow.
the villain.
You
He
guys
wouldn't
just-
even be
You guys
rich.
are telling on yourselves in 4K.
I would
as
have
the
I would
kids
have
say.
I would have guessed Black Ranger
Yeah, 100%.
because I'm no fool.
Yeah, I would have definitely guessed with your blue hat, blue shirt, blue undershirt, blue background, and blue heart that you would have chose the Black
And
Ranger.
Bob Blue Frick.
Bob Blue.
Bob Blue Frick.
Hey, do not disrespect Babu Frick like that.
Hey.
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 Dan, John, what color Rangers would you guys be?
I don't know. I think if we're going strict color and not whatever, if it's like animal themed that's being represented, I have a strong affinity to the color yellow. I'd probably go
like
yellow.
a cheetah print?
Like
No, just
What?
yellow. No, that's good.
cheetah for no, he said yellow.
He said if we can't do something that represents animals.
Yeah,
No,
they
I'm
don't
saying,
have
no,
even-
like how like the blue has the tricera. If we're not looking strictly at like what the
Yeah.
helmet
Yeah.
might be or whatever,
Oh,
Yeah.
right. Yeah,
'cause
yeah,
I'd probably
Oh.
it'd be easier to pick like an animal or a dinosaur or something. But I
No,
think
what color do
color-wise,
you want to
it'd be
wear for a minimum of 52 episodes?
Yeah, what do you
yellow.
want your
It'd be-
entire closet to be filled with?
Yeah,
color
what do you want
clothes
your
do
closet to
look
like?
filled
I do have a lot of but black's already been taken, so I'd go yellow, the other Iowa
Yeah.
Hawkeye color.
with?
John, what would you be? And you could choose a color that's already taken. You don't have to.
No, you
don't have
can't.
to-
Sorry. Them's the
All
rules.
right.
No one monopolizes any colors.
Nope, too bad.
Well, I mean, as we know, there are some Rangers that have been multiple colors.
That's true.
So I mean, if I had to start with one, maybe I start with black, and then maybe I end up having to be green,
Ooh.
which is totally
Hmm.
fine.
Nice.
Green's a great choice and a great
Wow.
Ranger. Adam Park, one of my favorite Rangers. Of all
I mean,
time.
what's the story there? You were the original Black Ranger, and then I show up and I punch you and I say, "Look at me, I'm the Black Ranger now."
Look at me. I'm the Black Ranger now. No, he felt bad for you.
And he was like, "Okay, dude, gee, what the hell?"
'Cause Zordon didn't.
Oh, he was
Zordon.
Green
Well, no, I don't
Ranger.
even want
It's
Zordon.
not
as
even
our
that big of a
mentor.
deal.
Because you weren't picked to be a ranger, so he was like, "All right, you can be the Black Ranger."
Oh my god.
And then Zordon was like, "John, you get to be the Green Ranger because you're so nice. Here you go,
Because you're so nice.
because you're so nice."
Green,
green
the color
means
of kindness.
Color of- It's the color of go. Like when it comes to driving,
Yes.
green means go.
We all know Zach
True.
likes to complain a lot unless he gets his way. So
Yeah.
go ahead, Zach.
Thank you, John.
The
Go ahead
acceptable
and throw
way.
away all your blue wardrobe because you have to buy
Yeah.
black now.
You gotta
I have
buy
a lot.
everything
I got a
black.
lot of black clothes too. So,
Slimming.
mhm.
Nikki, what would I mean? Unsurprisingly, what would you pick?
Don't
I
say
mean,
it.
do you even have to ask?
Dude,
No.
pretend like there's an obvious answer, and then give us a different answer.
Yeah,
Bamboozle us.
Then
Bamboozle
swerve.
us.
Yeah. Say based on my aesthetic, you would think it'd be pink, but
I was
Well,
just say
why are you muting yourself?
That-
Okay, go ahead now.
I screwed up the microphone. I was trying to.
Now.
Guess what? Pink is a personality.
That's not true.
It is
That's a
not.
color. Pink is
You
a
can, I
color.
mean, you can choose pink, but it's not a personality.
It's not a personality. It's just a color.
No, it's
It's
my
just a
it's
color.
my brand.
That's fair enough.
She says as she's wearing a red and white shirt.
I think
Zero pink in this frame.
Zero pink.
I think people would assume to know what color I would pick, but I think they would be wrong. I think a lot of people would think they know what color I was going to be picking, but I think that I would disappoint a lot of people with my choice, because I would pick the Red Ranger. You already know.
That's like the opposite
wow.
of what Zach did. It was like the
Yeah.
opposite of what Zach did.
I'm so surprised.
I'm
Well, Zach,
thinking
at
red.
least he's
baby.
wearing red, you dingus.
Yeah, Zach. I'm wearing red.
With
And
her
I'm
black
wearing-
headphones on.
I'm wearing the colors that make pink.
You're actually not. That's a children's version of pink. Anyways, moving on.
Anyways,
You're
Don't get-
you're wearing
let's not get started
you're
in
wearing the two
primaries.
colors that make light red.
Pink is a tint of red.
to make a light
It is
version
not.
of the color
Pink
red.
is a totally different wavelength.
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
Pink is a personality. We only got one question. We got a question from Johnny. How many times you guys gonna be watching Once and Always? I'm gonna probably watch like 7,500 times.
Look, Johnny, I'm going to be honest with you here. I know you're a big Rangers fan, and I love that. I'm going to watch it one time though. I'm not
You're
the
gonna watch
type
it
that's I'm not the type that's watching movies a ton of times, unless it's Dune, Star Wars, or Knives Out. Okay,
Fair enough. All right.
That's
I'm watching
many-
those. I'm watching those a bunch.
Or The
Everything else-
Irishman by Martin Scorsese.
Everything else I'm watching once.
That was
Fair
a
enough.
lot of exceptions, but okay.
It was literally 3 exceptions.
Once, if I really like it, probably twice.
Nice.
And also keep in mind, how long is this? Because it's not a full movie. It's how long is it technically?
It's a 55-minute special.
Okay, so it's definitely like easily rewatchable.
Yeah, it's easily digestible.
Mhm.
John, can you beat Dan's high score of 2?
Well, I think the high score is like 7,500 times.
7,500. It's
Right.
7,500.
I don't know
I'll
if-
be watching
no, if
7,500
I
times.
can't watch it 7,501 or 1 times or whatever. But I will probably watch it a few times to make sure I didn't miss anything.
Yeah.
And I do have a quick bone to pick with Zach. Like, I mean, you left out one very important.
Oh my god, I cannot believe I did not say Fast and Furious. Holy shit.
You left out 10 films.
That's true.
Wow.
Also,
Wow.
Soon to be
Okay,
11.
hold on. Look, The Fast and the Furious and Too Fast, Too Furious are 2 of my top 5 most watched films of all time. Okay, that's a fact. That's a fact. Okay.
if you want us to do a Fast and the Furious and Too Fast, Too
go,
Furious
dude.
watch along, put a yes in the comments below.
How about this? If you guys just want to see us do more live watch-alongs, just put a yes in the comments, and then we'll vote on the movie. How about
I
that?
voted for the swatch along.
Hey,
Yeah,
Johnny,
Watch-along.
100%.
Watch-along.
I want to see the 10-episode series. Okay,
Yeah, he wants to see it.
100%. We got to make that happen. Look,
We got to make it happen.
so
I
that's,
need
what that's what I'm
content.
saying though. I'll turn the
We need to
movie
make
on.
content.
I'll put it on repeat in the guest room. Okay, I'm gonna
Zach,
make
by
sure
not
We'll get those
watching
views
it-
up.
we're gonna get those views up.
By not watching this 5 times, you're essentially saying you want the MontyVerse to fail. You want us to stop producing Power Ranger content.
What are you talking about? I'm not saying you shouldn't make Power Rangers content. We should just be making more Fast and Furious content. Is all.
Let's go. Johnny wants a MMPR movie watch along. Let's go.
Ivan is the best villain.
Ivan Ooze is a great villain. I can't wait for Nikki to see Ivan Ooze.
I don't even know what that means.
Oh, you will.
Wow.
Oh,
Yeah,
you
but in
will.
two
All
movies,
the greatest movies reference ooze.
That is true. Turtles,
Secret
Power
of
Rangers.
Ooze.
Oh yeah, that's the
Ivan
next
Ooze.
franchise I have to cover is Turtles.
We gotta cover
after this.
Turtles. We're gonna be covering Turtles. We're gonna be covering Rebels. We got a lot of
This
things
is
to
so
cover.
much.
Lot of
There's not
content.
that much turtles.
Yeah. I mean, it is what it is. It is what it is. But, guys, I think that's going to do it for the stream for today. A big thank you to our guests. We got John Lastrina. John, where can the people find you?
You can find me over on the Family Show every week for the Family Show, where we talk about the Fast and the Furious. So join us next week when we'll be talking about the Fast and the Furious. And as a reminder, there are, again, only 41 days until Fast X.
Nice.
Get your tickets now.
Dan Bettenhausen, where can the people find you?
You can find me almost every other week hosting the Fantastic Four podcast, the #1 Fantastic Four fan casting podcast on the internet.
And if
Presumably.
presumably,
You can find me on Twitter here.
and if you wanna look for him, Zach, where can the people find you?
You can find me on Mastodon at Hi, my name is Zach M. Is
Mastodon.
that bit still good? I mean, does Mastodon still a funny thing to say? I don't know.
I think it
It
is.
is here. It is here.
Hey,
You can find
even
me-
better, as the Black Ranger, you need to
As the
keep
Black
promoting
Ranger.
Oh yeah, I
Mastodon.
got to keep the Mastodon stuff.
Yeah.
No, you can find me on Twitter. Hi, my name is Zach M. So
And you guys can find me and Nikki here always on the MontyVerse. Join us in a couple of days for another hashtag Morphin Monday, where we are continuing our watch through of Power Rangers. And we just uploaded a bunch of trailer reactions this week, so go watch them. I'm gonna have some shorts coming out as well that I recorded tonight. Some Power Ranger ones are in there as well, so make sure to check those out when I upload them. And until next time, guys, stay versed.
peace.